Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are breaking down a really fascinating shift happening right now in the world of interface design. Today, we're looking at a platform called Penpot, and it is rapidly making waves as a powerful, genuinely open-source alternative to the massive industry giants we're all used to.
So think about your tech stack for just a second. What happens when your absolute favorite design tool suddenly becomes, well, your biggest software as a service expense? For a lot of growing product teams out there, that is exactly the reality they're facing right now. Now, don't get me wrong, tools like Figma completely transformed interface design and prototyping. But as your team scales up, those per-seat subscription costs, they can quickly turn from a minor line item into a major business hurdle.
Let's move on and see how this builds. Today, we're tackling the design tool dilemma. Then we'll officially meet Penpot, weigh out its core features and limitations, crunch those financial numbers, and finally, look at a playbook for making the switch.
Starting off with part 1, the design tool dilemma. We're talking growing teams and growing costs.
While modern proprietary tools have undeniably revolutionized how we prototype, they've also created a brand new set of problems, especially for small and medium-sized businesses. To really grasp the financial pressure here, think about this number, $12 to $15. That is the typical monthly cost per editor on a standard professional plan. And hey, if you're a team of 2, maybe that's totally manageable. But as you add developers, product managers, maybe a copywriter, that per-seat pricing creates some serious friction. Suddenly you're playing gatekeeper, second-guessing if the intern really needs edit access, which, let's be honest, actively discourages the collaboration these tools were built for in the first place.
But you know, cost is just one piece of the puzzle here. Beyond that per-seat pricing completely bottlenecking your scale, cloud-only hosting raises some massive data sovereignty concerns. If your organization is working on highly confidential, unreleased products, locking those proprietary plans into a third-party cloud service is a huge red flag for security teams. Plus, relying on proprietary file formats means you are fundamentally locked into that single vendor's ecosystem forever.
Which brings us nicely to section 2, Meet Penpot, the open-source answer to this exact dilemma.
So the crucial point is really baked right into its definition. Launched back in 2021, Penpot is released under the open-source MPL 2.0 license. It's an interface design and prototyping platform designed specifically to be a genuinely free and self-hostable alternative. It gives your business the exact same real-time, collaborative, browser-based experience that modern designers expect, but it completely eliminates those restrictive licensing fees and closed-door environments.
And here is where it gets really interesting under the hood. When you compare proprietary file formats against the native SVG open standard, the difference for the future of your data is literally night and day. Because Penpot is built entirely around the open SVG standard, your design data remains fully portable. It belongs to you, and it natively integrates with standard web development workflows. You are never going to be held hostage to a file format that you can't open anywhere else.
All right, section 3, core features and limitations. Time to weigh the realities.
Look, to make an informed decision about your tech stack, we have to impartially weigh what it can actually do. And honestly, Penpot genuinely goes toe-to-toe with its paid competitors. You've got vector-based tools for interface mockups right there in the browser. You have real-time collaborative editing, letting multiple designers jump into the exact same file simultaneously, which is huge. You can build out interactive, clickable prototypes to test user flows and manage vast design systems with shared libraries. Plus, for the engineering side of the house, it features automated developer handoff, generating CSS and code snippets right out of design files. It's an incredibly robust environment.
But of course, no tool is perfect, right? It's all about trade-offs. On the strength side, obviously you get total data control, free licensing, and those brilliant open standards. However, we have to talk about the limitations. Penpot's third-party plugin ecosystem is currently much smaller than the highly mature marketplaces out there. So if your workflow relies heavily on super niche plugins, that's a real hurdle. Also, self-hosting requires familiarity with Docker, meaning you're going to need some IT support. And finally, for extremely massive or complex files, the rendering engine might lag just a little bit behind what the highly optimized enterprise tools can offer.
Moving right along to section 4, the financial case. Let's crunch some numbers.
Let's look at a real-world scenario because this brilliantly illustrates the macro impact of what seems like a micro software decision. Imagine a 10-person design and product team on a typical professional plan. You're looking at roughly $120 to $150 a month. By contrast, running a self-hosted Penpot instance on a properly sized server typically costs just $25 to $40 a month to keep the infrastructure humming, and that's regardless of how many people join your team. Over the course of a year, that translates to a massive savings of roughly $1,000 to $1,300 for just one 10-person team.
Now, what if you're thinking, we don't have the Docker expertise to manage a server? Or maybe you just don't want the hassle. Well, Penpot Cloud actually offers an official managed hosting tier, and for teams operating within its usage limits, that brings the monthly software cost down to exactly $0. You skip the server administration entirely while still saving your budget. It is pretty hard to beat that price tag.
Finally, Section 5, Making the Switch. Here is your migration playbook.
So if the financials and that sweet data sovereignty are sounding pretty good right about now, here is a concrete, pragmatic playbook for how to actually execute this migration without totally derailing production. Do not skip step 1. Start with a pilot project. Before you roll this out to everyone, get a feel for the interface on a low-stakes task. Step 2. Import your existing files and review them carefully. While import tools do exist, complex files with heavy dependencies are definitely going to need manual checks. Step 3. Establish your design system and component library early in the new platform to maintain consistency as you scale up. And Step 4. Run both platforms in parallel for a short time. Most teams complete this full migration in about 3 to 6 weeks. Running them concurrently gives your team time to adjust and confirm their workflows before you fully turn off access to the old tool.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this perfectly wraps up the overarching value proposition we've extracted from our sources today. What really sets Penpot apart is delivering Figma's specific collaborative, browser-based design experience within a genuinely open-source, self-hostable package. That exact combination has historically been incredibly rare in the design tool space, where almost every other alternative out there remains a closed-source, proprietary product.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. Take a hard look at your current tech stack. Is your team ready to take back control of your design data and, frankly, your budget? If your software costs are climbing simply because your headcount is growing, it just might be time to reconsider that SaaS sprawl and give this self-hostable alternative a very serious evaluation. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.